the tow truck man left, and then you just sent a text like, I think you cute, can we move on to something more? What's something more than you towing my car?
Yes.
How could I push the issue when a woman has told me this is not my child? How am I
You
gonna
knew
push
that
the
you
issue?
had a relationship with me. You still could have came and tried it.
Imagine dragging your mom to court because your uncle, yes, your uncle, blurts out at a family cookout that he might actually be your dad. That's exactly what's happening here in this wild case of Ellis v. Shivers and McClellan. Two brothers, one mother with a secret, and a DNA test that could shatter the family tree. Buckle up, folks. This one's messier than a Thanksgiving argument.
Mr. Ellis, you and your brother have brought your mother to court today because you say you've always believed the man in this photograph is your father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Then, just recently, you learned that your biological father may actually be your father's brother.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Shivers explains it all started at a family gathering. Everyone's laughing, eating, having drinks, and out of nowhere, Uncle Ronnie strolls up and drops, "You know I'm your daddy, right?" "Sir, what?" You can almost see the mashed potatoes freeze mid-air. Mama Shivers instantly denies it, but her boys? They're not buying it. I mean, how do you come back from your uncle calling you son?
Man, you kept that secret from your sons throughout their lives.
Yes, I did.
Now
Your
you
Honor.
say you're seeking DNA results to discover the truth and beg for their forgiveness.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Ellis, how did you find out your mother slept with your uncle and he may be your father?
Yes, Your Honor. We were at a family gathering.
Mama Shivers admits it. Yes, she slept with her husband and his brother. Twice the trouble, half the peace. She says it was out of desperation. She had nowhere to go and ended up living at Mama Mildred's, where Ronnie stayed one night. Too much drinking, and boom, family scandal in the making. The way she says, "I had no choice," though, whew. Even Judge Lake looks like she's trying to process that one.
The door open, believe what
Well,
you want to
open
believe,
it up.
assume what you want to assume.
Yeah.
He assumes Ronnie's his dad.
And what about you?
That's my dad on the screen right there, John Ellis. He got to be my dad.
So, Miss Shivers,
Yes.
you admit you slept with both brothers.
Yes, Your Honor, I did. I had no choice. I had nowhere to go.
Defending his mom, says he's not here to crucify her, he just wants the truth. But you can tell he's holding in some pain. He's seen differences in how their dad treated them, and it still stings. He swears his dad favored his brother, wrote to him more while they were locked up, sent money, barely spoke to him. I mean, talk about trauma simmering under family dinners.
Crucify my mom or nothing like that, or, it ain't nothing like that. Just want to know what's going on. My brother feels a certain way about something, so we here to address that. We feel like he may have a different father. That's how I feel. I feel like because my dad did, you could tell he kind of treated him different from me.
Even you saw that
I
and
seen
felt
this
that.
growing up. Yes, I did.
Mama Shivers quietly admits, Ronnie's always been there. And right there, you see the brothers' heads spin. Uncle Ronnie has been the helpful one, the check-in uncle, the need something, I got you uncle. And now, that looks suspiciously like dad behavior. This is why Judge Lake's show needs hazard pay, because these emotional whiplashes are wild.
He did my brother, you know what I'm saying? And you don't do that if that's your child, you're supposed to be there thick and thin like my mom, I heard from her every day of, that place or that situation, but when we were in that situation, he didn't reach out to my brother at all, not really I understand.
And Ronnie's always been there, right?
Yeah, and Ronnie's always been
there
the
no
one.
matter what.
Then comes the physical comparison game, always my favorite part of the chaos. One brother's like, I'm slim like my dad, built like my dad, feet like my dad. The other's like, well, my hair's different. Sir, that's not science. That's just genetics roulette. Judge Lake cuts in like, not necessarily. And I swear you can hear the audience holding laughter.
But Ronnie is big. That's a big guy right there. They broad. I'm skinny. I'm slim.
Well,
his hair is different from my hair. I mean, if we got the same dad, okay, wouldn't you think that his texture of his hair would come out the same as mine? Because I got.
Not necessarily.
Well, Your Honor.
But then, plot twist. Mama Shivers reveals there might have been another man before Detroit. The brothers' eyes pop like popcorn. She says, they were basically trading me off. Whew, that silence afterward? Heavy. You can tell she's been carrying this pain a long time. Survival mode doesn't always look pretty, and today, it's coming back to haunt everyone.
If you want to know, I'll let you know.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
So you're saying,
See,
Eugene, you had absolutely no idea
No,
until
not
this
even a
very
possibility
moment?
until right now. Not even a possibility somebody else could be my father.
Ms. Shivers, I want to make sure we're clear. You're now stating that you had been in a relationship before you got to Detroit, so you were in a relationship both in close proximity.
Eugene, one of the brothers, is clearly blindsided. He had no idea there was even a question about his dad until this courtroom. Imagine learning that in front of cameras. His "I didn't know that" hits hard. He's hurt, confused, and just trying to understand who he is. And that's when Judge Lake drops the line every viewer waits for. We need to meet Uncle Ronnie, or should I say, Father Ronnie.
Uncle Ronnie, he's called me on my birthday, and he said, I don't know who I'm talking to, my son, or my nephew, one of you, happy birthday,
And that's the way he said happy birthday?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm talking to my son or my nephew, but happy birthday.
Yes, Your Honor.
Jerome brings out Uncle Ronnie like he's introducing a plot twist character in a soap opera. He sits down, casual as ever, confirming he might be the dad says. When Mama Shivers moved in, things got complicated. When he says, "She must have meant we only had sex once sober," the courtroom gasps. Even Judge Lake has to hold her composure. The tension, nuclear level.
Hello, sir. Please be seated. Mr. McClellan, thank you so much for joining us today. We are here with Eugene and Arthur talking about the issues surrounding their paternity. And we're also here hearing testimony from Ms. Shivers she's trying to make sense of all of the confusion.
Ronnie admits he knows the timing lines up. She was living with him during the possible conception window. But Arthur, the other brother, reminds everyone that John Ellis, his supposed father, is on his birth certificate. So technically, that's still his dad. Judge Lake looks at the paper like, we're not done yet, because of course, in true paternity court fashion, there's another man.
Please take me back. How did you come to know or realize that this young man could be your biological child?
My brother had put her and Eugene out, and they came back to Chicago and lived with me. And while they were living with me, she said we only had sex once. She must have meant we only had sex once sober. You know what I mean?
Enter Cool Breeze. I can't make this up. Mama Shivers casually drops that she was also seeing a man nicknamed Cool Breeze, and he might be Arthur's father. The courtroom collectively short circuits. Even her sons are like, I've never heard this story before. She explains Cool Breeze ran a hotel, gave her work, and, well, they had a few drinks and nights. You can't write this kind of chaos. It writes itself.
John Ellis is on my birth certificate.
He is?
Yeah.
You have a copy of that birth certificate?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to see that, please. So, Mr. McClellan, we're looking at Arthur's birth certificate. John Ellis is listed as father.
Judge Lake gently sums up the storm. Multiple men, multiple timelines, and decades of pain. She actually humanizes Ms. Shivers here. She was young, struggling, and surviving how she could. Still, the fallout is real. The sons just want to know. Arthur pleads, I need us to have the same dad. That line hits like a ton of bricks. He's not chasing fame, he's chasing family.
Waitressing in the restaurant, and he ran a big hotel, and he also gave me jobs and stuff. That's when Eugene was like about 4 or 5. We had a couple of little nights where we had a few drinks, and we did have intimacy. He died, that might be a possibility, because when I was staying at Mama Mildred's with Ronnie and everybody,
tears start flowing. They admit this confusion has caused real rifts, fights, resentment, even competition. Eugene says everything they grew up believing was based on lies. And Mama Shivers tries to defend herself, saying, they were little white lies. I was protecting them. Judge Lake isn't having it. Protection through lies only delayed the healing, and today's the reckoning.
Different space and time and trying to stay alive. I'm dating these older men. I'm this young woman. There's so much going on, but as the story continues to unfold, there are more potential fathers.
Yes, Your Honor.
So now, as you say, with Eugene
breaks the tension with humor, says he's proud to be a half-breed and loves who he is. It's funny, but also powerful. He's reclaiming identity, no matter what the DNA says. The brothers even hug, promising to get it together no matter what happens. For a second, it's pure, heartwarming chaos. You can almost hear the audience exhale.
Ultimately, what brings us here today is a paternity issue. Many paternity issues.
Yes, Your Honors. That's why I want these babies to say whatever they need to say.
I need us to have the same dad.
Well, they're gonna show you guys got the same father.
You say you need you and your brother to have the same dad? I see you're emotional. What are you feeling? You say you need
we
that.
gotta have the same dad.
Finally, the moment. Judge Lake calls for the envelope. The first results are for Eugene, the one whose dad's paternity was just doubted for the first time today. She reads slowly, "John Ellis is your father." The relief? Immediate. He jumps up shouting, "I knew that!" The pride in his voice could light the room. His face says it all. Validation after decades of doubt.
Come to find out, it ain't,
Because I try to protect them with the little white lie here and there. You don't understand, Eugene.
You want the truth.
Back in the 70s, it was a nightmare to go through, son.
Regardless of whatever, I just want you to know, Mom, I'm proud to be a half-breed man. You hear me? I'm proud.
Thank you, son.
I wouldn't be black.
Then, Judge Lake turns to Arthur, the brother with 3 possible dads. Everyone holds their breath. The room is dead silent except for paper rustling. Judge Lake reads, "John Ellis is your father." Boom. You can literally see the air shift. Arthur collapses into relief, saying, "I needed that." His mom's crying. He's crying. Eugene's hugging him. It's an emotional full circle.
All of them, except the oldest.
We don't want you two fighting. We don't want you arguing with this, regardless of what the results.
He was kind of saying some things about my father that I didn't like. Since we've had this revelation or whatnot, he ain't been talking too kindly about my dad, and I don't like that. Man,
Okay, well, don't get worked back up in the courtroom, because we don't want...
Judge Lake sums it up beautifully. Now you have the truth. You're brothers. Same mother, same father. What are you going to do now? They promise to get along, and for once, you actually believe them. Mama Shivers smiles through tears, saying, "Told you, children, that's how it goes." Pure, chaotic, healing energy.
In the case of Eugene Ellis v. Shivers McClellan, pertaining to whether John Ellis is your biological father, it has been determined by this court, John Ellis is your father.
I knew that.
And just like that, the Shivers brothers finally have clarity. Uncle Ronnie's off the hook, Cool Breeze remains a legend, and Mama Shivers, well, she gave the truth, even if it took a lifetime. No outro needed, just 2 brothers hugging, a mother weeping with relief, and Judge Lake, once again, proving that DNA might sting, but truth heals every time.
I have the results for Arthur as well. Are you ready, Arthur?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. In the case of Arthur Ellis v. Shivers McClellan, pertaining to whether John Ellis or his brother Ronald Clellan is your biological father, it has been determined by this court. John Ellis is your father.
Ms. Marsack walks into paternity court with a storyline that already sounds illegal in 3 states. 2 possible fathers, 1 11-month-old baby Caden, and not nearly enough honesty to go around. Judge Lake lays it out. Mr. O'Malley, the ex who doubts everything, and Mr. Meepy, the one-night stand who turned into a full-time dad figure. Stakes are high, trust is low, and this love triangle is already leaning messy.
Ms. Marsack, you admit to sleeping with 2 men at the time you conceived your 11-month-old son, Caden.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, you state you're here today for the sake of your baby's future and desperately need to identify his biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. O'Malley, Ms. Marsack says she feels strongly that you are Caden's biological father, but you claim she was unfaithful during your time together.
When Judge Lake asks how she got into this situation, Ms. Marsack admits she was involved with multiple men at the time of conception, married, cheating with Mr. O'Malley, then partying her way into a hazy one-nighter with Mr. Meepy. No clear memory, no confirmed protection, just vibes and disaster. I mean, if this might end up on paternity court were a life choice, this was it.
So, Ms. Marsack, please tell us, how did you get yourself in this situation?
Well, Your Honor, at the time of conception, I was involved in multiple men and met James around 2009. We were working together and we had a fling there for a while. He was with somebody while I was married.
Mr. O'Malley confirms the affair. Workplace fling, wrecked marriage. Years later, she shows up in Chicago. They try again. It flops. She leaves 3 weeks later. Facebook message, "I'm pregnant." He asks for proof. She sends a sketchy-looking letter he swears was homemade. If your paternity proof looks like it was done on clip art, yeah, suspicion is valid. You can practically see Judge Lake squinting.
Right after me and Mr. O'Malley were together, I had met Mr. Mestape at a party, and we were drinking, and one thing led to another, and we ended up intimate, and I honestly can't remember much of what happened.
But do you remember whether or not you used protection?
Then over to Mr. Mipe. He remembers the party, the drinks, the hotel, the unprotected sex, very clearly, actually, which is more than she can say. Later, he gets a Facebook message. "I'm pregnant. You could be the father." His reaction is basically, okay, but he admits, yes, it's a real possibility. One night, no protection, and now he's in court. You could cut this tension with a knife.
It's me telling me that she's pregnant. So I asked for proof because she had lied to me numerous times before, and her word isn't really trustworthy, at least for me. So about a week later, she sends me a letter. It looked homemade, Your Honor. I really wish I still had the picture of it. So I presumed it wasn't true.
Because you asked her for some type of proof from the doctor.
Yes, Your Honor, I asked for some proof.
And she gave you a letter.
We slide into the pregnancy timeline, and this is where the guilt shows. Ms. Marsack says she was confused, scared, already raising 2 kids, and genuinely considered not going through with it because she didn't know who the father was. She breaks down saying she made mistakes, but chose to have Caden and planned to do it alone. Heartbreaking stuff. You can see she's ashamed and exhausted all at once.
Do you remember if you used protection?
No, I did not use protection.
Okay, so it is a real possibility that you could be this child's father.
Yes, I was constantly thinking it could be someone else's, but I wasn't too for sure because I didn't know her that well. It was just a one-night stand. It only takes one time, but...
That's right, that's right. Ms. Marsack, so through the pregnancy, what's happening?
Then comes the twist that gets everyone soft. After Caden's birth, it's not the long-term lover who steps up, it's the one-night stand. Mr. Mipe proudly explains how he bought everything, changed diapers, gave baths, watched first rollovers, first attempts to sit up. He was the first one Caden reached for. I mean, just look at that. One night turned into full-time dad energy, talk about stepping up.
Since I have no idea who could be his dad, I just said, I'll do it alone. I made the decision, and I did not contact neither one of them. I was completely alone.
So since Caden's birth, who's been a father to him? Who's been there for you and for Caden?
Mr. O'Malley owns that he wasn't there. He says he didn't want to uproot his life to raise a child he wasn't sure was his. Judge Lake hears it, but her face is saying, "Sir, that's not the flex you think it is." Meanwhile, everyone knows Caden needed consistency, and the guy who barely knew mom is the one showing up. Drama overload, but also respect to Mr. Mipe.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Anything he needed, I bought for him. I spent time with him. I changed him. I gave him baths. I was there when he first started rolling over, when he first started trying to sit up. I was there. I was the first person he actually reached for.
Now we're in the "who does the baby look like" portion of the chaos. Ms. Marsack insists Caden looks just like Mr. O'Malley's other child, same features, and here's the kicker. Her son is 1 week older than his other baby, 2 pregnancies, same guy, same calendar. O'Malley denies the resemblance, like his life depends on it. Judge Lake's eyebrows basically file a formal objection.
So, Ms. Marsack, when you look at your son, who do you really think the father is?
Mr. O'Malley?
I don't see it, Your Honor. I really don't. The little guy has blue eyes, I have brown eyes. Light hair, I have dark hair. I honestly don't think he's mine.
You have the same nose and the same eyes.
And on top of it, she gave the baby her ex-husband's last name.
It is not my ex-husband's last name, Your Honor. It is my last name along with my other 2 children. I refuse to have my child have a different last name.
O'Malley complains she let Mr. Mipe believe he was the father. Judge Lake corrects the record fast. Mipe stepped up because he was a possibility, not because she promised anything. Mipe confirms that. He just did what a good man should. And honestly, his quiet sincerity compared to O'Malley's defensiveness says a lot. I mean, just look at the contrast.
No, Your Honor, there is one big reason. My son does look just like his other baby. Mind you, my son is a week older than his other baby.
1 week older?
1 week older than his other baby.
So there were 2 of you pregnant at the same time?
Yes, Your Honor.
We find out Ms. Marsack eventually moved in with Mr. O'Malley with baby Caden. He offered them a place to stay. They lasted about 2 months, only one of those as a couple. She left to return to Illinois, so Caden wouldn't be separated from his brothers. It's noble in theory, but Judge Lake points out the pattern. She's bouncing between men and states, and this baby is in the middle of emotional musical chairs.
So, Ms. Marsack, so you stated in your court papers that you ended up moving in with Mr. O'Malley.
Yes.
And Caden. What happened?
Me and Mr. Mestapay, you know, we separated. Things weren't working out between us. I had left my apartment, and there was no way I could get a different apartment at that time. So Mr. O'Malley offered to have me and Caden come and stay with him.
Then the petty erupts. They argue over who bought how many boxes of diapers. 2 boxes, 2 months. Sir, ma'am, we are in court over paternity, not a Costco receipt O'Malley throws in that she cheated when she went back to Illinois. Judge Lake turns to Ms. Marsack, and she quietly confirms it. Yes, Your Honor, I did. That honesty lands heavy and explains a lot.
My son loves his brothers, and they love him, and I honestly felt like it was wrong of me to take him away from his brothers.
So you left Mr. O'Malley's home, moved back to Illinois
Sure.
to be with your other children. But during that time that you're staying in his home, your gut says it's his father.
Yes, Your Honor.
And how are you treating the baby when he's in
Like
your
he
home?
was my own.
Now it's feelings on the table. Ms. Marsack says all she really wants is to know who Caden's father is, so he doesn't grow up confused like this. O'Malley says he just wants the truth, because she's lied so many times he doesn't know what to believe. He promises that if Caden is his, he'll step up. If not, he wants her out of his life completely. No gray area.
You got quiet, Ms. Marsack.
Because, yes, Your Honor, I did.
And so, where was Mr. Mestapay at this point?
He had moved back to California to be with his son's mother.
This is like musical chairs, Jerome. Okay, are you with either of these two now?
No, Your Honor.
All right. What are your hopes for today, Ms. Marsack?
I am just hoping to find out who my son's father is.
Then Judge Lake brings up something that cuts deep. O'Malley didn't even know how to spell Caden's name. He tries to explain he didn't want to get attached in case the child wasn't his. But Ms. Marsack is clearly hurt. She saw Meepy fully commit on a maybe, while O'Malley emotionally hovered at the door, waiting on lab work before caring talk about brutal contrast.
If he's not, I never want to talk to this woman again. I don't want to be in contact with her. I just want it in the past.
You know, I want the truth too for baby Caden, but I want to make sure as well that he's cared for and he's important to the people that are supposed to love him. And now he potentially could be your biological child.
We sink right into the emotional center. Judge Lake calls out the pattern. Ms. Marsack has been running from the truth. When O'Malley lists the lies, her eyes drop instantly. She finally admits there is truth in what he's saying. That crack in her armor is real. Mess aside, you can feel how all 3 of them, and especially Caden, are drowning in secrets that should have been solved 11 months ago.
Did he want to go and take a walk with us?
But it feels like you had your gut feeling that he was the father. You moved in with him to see what you could make of this. And then within 2 months, you felt like he wasn't valuing you or the baby.
That's right.
So you decided, well, why stay here and do this when I could at least let my son be around his other siblings, so I'll just go back home to Illinois. That's how you were feeling. Now, whether that's true or what your intention were, I'm trying to read what it is, because it just seems like you just moving and shaking. You got this one over here, then he goes back with this girl, then you go back with him. Now you back over here in Illinois.
Then we hit the love triangle reveal. She still has feelings for O'Malley. Meppy admits he loves Caden and still loves her too. Judge Lake asks if she loves Mepe. She says no. You can see that land like a punch. This man has been dad to a baby that might not be his, and is now finding out the love was mostly one-sided heartbreaking stuff.
Do you love him?
Yes, I do. I do have feelings for him.
And then all along, Mr. Mestapay, she loves him, but you want to be the father.
Yes, Your Honor. No matter what happens, I love that boy. I still love Miss Marsack too.
You love her?
Yes.
O'Malley says he'd be willing to work it out with her if Caden is his. Conditional relationship, conditional fatherhood. Judge Lake clocks it. More running, more bargaining, more dishonesty. Then she shuts it down beautifully. There's one thing that doesn't lie, and that is DNA. Cue the drum roll. Jerome walks that envelope over like it's the season finale.
Whenever he starts talking about that you're lying to him, your eyes go downcast instantly, as if there's truth in what he's saying.
There is truth in it.
That's what I thought. So now we know why you're running, because you're running from the truth, because you're lying.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. But I'll tell you what, There's one thing that doesn't lie, and that is DNA.
Everyone's locked in. Meppy looks terrified. O'Malley is bracing. Ms. Marsek is shaking. Judge Lake reads the lies, the timelines, the accusations. It's all on the table now. Everyone in the courtroom is on edge as the judge prepares the envelope. Only one piece of evidence can end the shouting and finger-pointing. The DNA results will reveal the truth once and for all. Who's the real father, and who will have the last laugh?
In the case of Marsek v. O'Malley Mestepe, pertaining to whether Mr. O'Malley or Mr. Mestepe is the father of 11-month-old Caden Marsek, it has been determined by the court that the biological father is Mr. O'Malley.
Big relief, Your Honor. Big relief. Finally got the truth.
I can feel that across the room.
O'Malley lets out a huge sigh. Big relief, Your Honor. Ms. Marsek immediately snaps into mama mode. You need to step up. You need to show you're going to be a father. She's not playing anymore. He promises to move back to Illinois. Be present. Start fresh. As long as the lies stop. His face says he knows this is his last chance to get it right.
It's not fair to him be in and out of his life.
As soon as I get back to Illinois or Cleveland, I'm gonna pack my stuff and move back to Illinois. I just need you to stop lying to me. We need to start over fresh.
You two need to be honest. You need to learn to communicate. You need to learn how to parent together. The love is there.
Imagine finding out your 28-year-old daughter's father might not be who you've claimed her whole life, and the truth only comes out because her baby is born with an extra finger. That's right, folks. This isn't your average paternity case. This is hereditary drama. Ms. Galaviz and her daughter, Ms. Smith, are in paternity court today to find out if Mr. Thompson, the man who raised her, or Mr. Jackson, the man she's never met, is the real father.
Ms. Galaviz, you stand before the court with your 28-year-old daughter, Ms. Smith. Only 3 years ago, you revealed a lifelong secret to her. You confessed that the only man she's ever known as her dad may not be her biological father.
It starts off immediately messy. Judge Lake lays out the case. Ms. Galaviz admits she was intimate with both men around the same time and kept that secret for nearly 3 decades. Mr. Thompson looks heartbroken. Mr. Jackson looks ready for answers. And Ms. Smith? She's standing there trying to figure out who's her dad while also 7 months pregnant. Talk about generational stress.
But after an argument erupted on your front lawn, you say the truth finally came out.
Yes.
Mr. Jackson, now you're the other potential father, and you've never met your possible daughter face to face until today.
I haven't, and that's thankful.
Now, while you have paternity doubts, you claim to have evidence that could turn this case upside down.
Mr. Jackson recalls their relationship. They met through friends, dated for over a year, and he swears it was serious, until she vanished and turned up pregnant with someone else's baby. He says he had no clue about Mr. Thompson until rumors hit the family. Meanwhile, Mr. Thompson confirms they were together too, and thought they were exclusive. Ma'am, you were juggling more than feelings here. This was a full emotional relay race.
So you were dating her. Did you have any idea that she was also dating Mr. Thompson?
No, I did not.
Mr. Thompson,
Yes,
you
Your
obviously remember the relationship with Ms. Galaviz as well?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
So, Ms. Galaviz, when you're dating both of these gentlemen, were you telling each of them that, I'm dating you, but I'm also dating other people, or did each man think you were exclusive with them?
I didn't tell neither one of them. I was with Mr. Jackson at first, and we had been dating for like a year.
So when you came up pregnant,
Judge Lake presses the question we're all thinking. Did either man know about the other? Ms. Galaviz says no. She admits she didn't tell either one she was dating multiple people. Then she tries to explain her math. She'd been with Mr. Jackson for over a year and never got pregnant, but got pregnant within months of meeting Mr. Thompson. So I figured it was his. That's not science, that's guessing. And in this courtroom, guessing gets receipts checked.
You know, that he would be the father because I had met Mr. Thompson, and in a couple of months I got pregnant, so I just was figuring that Mr. Thompson was her father.
Were you using protection with both of these men during your intimate relationship?
No, Your Honor. I have a calendar stating about it.
Jerome,
the time
please
around
hand
about
me.
the time that I got pregnant.
She hands over a hand-drawn calendar of conception. Yup, she brought receipts, literally color-coded. Blue for Mr. Jackson, green for Mr. Thompson, and pink for the conception window. Judge Lake takes one look and says what we're all thinking. You had sex with both men during that time. There it is. Case chaos officially confirmed.
So, Mr. Thompson, you remember the day she told you she was pregnant?
Yes, I remember when she told me that she was pregnant. I was excited. I was real happy.
And Mr. Jackson, what about you?
Well, it was in a convenience store one day, if I can recall correctly. I say, what happened? Are you pregnant? Yeah, it's not yours. She was very sarcastic about it. And I was like,
Mr. Thompson remembers the day she told him she was pregnant. He was thrilled. But Mr. Jackson, not so much. He recalls running into her at a convenience store, asking if she was pregnant, and getting hit with, yeah, but it's not yours. Savage. He says he still tracked her pregnancy and even showed up at the hospital when Ms. Smith was born, only to be told to leave. You can feel his hurt through the screen.
She wouldn't let me, she would not allow me to be at the hospital when my baby was born.
You wouldn't allow him?
No, I was young and I just felt kind of ashamed, and I didn't want to be with nobody at that time. I just wanted to be by myself because, you know, I didn't know what I was going to do. And I was scared. I was scared about it.
So, Mr. Jackson, let me ask you this. At some point you find out about Mr. Thompson.
yes.
How did that come about?
Ms. Gallivis admits she didn't let either man in the delivery room because she was ashamed. She was young, scared, and had no idea what to do. But that one decision spiraled into decades of silence and pain. Mr. Jackson snaps, "You robbed me of 28 years." And honestly, it's impossible not to feel for him. He wanted to be there. He just wasn't given the chance.
So you thought you were the father as well?
Yes, that's why I showed up at the hospital. And I'm sitting here today listening to him say that she said that he couldn't be at the hospital, whatnot. And I was there. And you asked me to leave? I'm not nowhere in this picture? Come on.
And so you're angry because you feel like you've potentially been cheated out of your child's life.
I've been cheated out of 28 years. I'm sitting here looking at this young lady. I've been cheated 28 years.
They argue about who should have done what back then. She says he could have fought harder. He says she told him flat out it wasn't his. Judge Lake steps in like a referee at this point, reminding everyone that what's lost can't be reclaimed, but the truth can still heal. And somewhere in the middle of that shouting, Ms. Smith is realizing both of these men wanted her, but confusion robbed her of a father.
How could I push the issue when a woman has told me this is not my child? How am I going to push the issue?
But you knew that you had relationship with me. You still could have came and tried it.
So what you're saying is despite the fact that I was telling you one story,
right,
you should have done something else.
Yes, Your Honor. He could have came for it just like I could have did.
How could I?
But he didn't do it.
Then comes the reason they're really here, the extra finger. Ms. Smith explains that she grew up believing Mr. Thompson was her father until she gave birth to her own child, who was born with 6 fingers. When she mentioned it to her mother, Ms. Gallivis blurted out that Mr. Jackson also had 6 fingers as a baby. And just like that, decades of denial cracked wide open. You could hear the audience gasp.
Who was born with 6 fingers, and that's when she actually told me that Mr. Jackson also had the 6 fingers as well. So it kind of ran in the family.
Woo! Out of the blue? After all these years, you thinking Mr. Thompson was your father?
Yes, Your Honor.
So what were you thinking? What did you say?
Very upset.
Mr. Jackson holds up a picture of his hand. See that? That's my 6th finger. Meanwhile, Ms. Smith's son has the same trait, and even her unborn child shows it on ultrasound. The doctor told her it's genetic. Ms. Smith's voice breaks as she says, "That's when I realized everything I believed about who I was might have been wrong. I mean, someone passed the tissues."
I don't have no 6 fingers.
Oh, okay.
And Miss Smith, is it only one child? How many children do you have that have this trait?
2. The one I have now.
The child you're pregnant with?
Yes.
You can see it on the ultrasound?
Yes. And I also have a picture of my son's hand as well, and the doctor even told me that it runs in the family.
Judge Lake turns to Mr. Thompson. Does he have the trait? Nope. 10 fingers. Plain as day. But he insists that doesn't mean anything. "I did my research, it doesn't always pass down." Sir, Google isn't DNA diagnostics, and Judge Lake makes that clear. Still, you can see he's desperate. This is the only daughter he's ever known.
Mr. Thompson, you say you know in your heart that she's your child. And yet this physical trait, this sixth finger that her child has.
Your Honor, I did research, okay? I did my research on this six finger thing.
Then Ms. Smith speaks her truth. I never felt like I had a father. Nobody stepped up. You can see both men deflate. Mr. Jackson out of regret, Mr. Thompson out of guilt. She's emotional, explaining she's about to get married. She has kids, and she doesn't even know her real medical history. This isn't just curiosity, it's identity, and the weight of that hits hard.
I know you gentlemen are very upset, and I understand why. This is a beautiful young lady standing here saying she never felt like she had a father and nobody stepped up for her.
No.
Nobody.
And I can see how
everybody in this room seems so angry. The person that really suffered is her.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Judge Lake breaks it down. The man you said was her father never fully stepped up, and the one who wanted to be a father you pushed away. The silence after that line, chilling. Ms. Galaviz nods through tears. She admits she lied because she was scared, but at 18, fear turned into decades of damage. Her voice cracks. I just want her to know her father.
It's been a long time struggling with my daughter.
Yes.
But like I said, even though Mr. Thompson knew that I say that was his daughter, he didn't do nothing. He came like after I had my daughter, he came, he bought a little stuff for her.
Miss Smith wipes tears, trying to make sense of it all. She says she sees herself in both men. Mr. Thompson's build, Mr. Jackson's smile and dimples. She actually laughs through her tears, saying, I see both of y'all. Judge Lake says softly, that's the tragedy, isn't it? Watching your daughter pick through strangers' features to find herself. You could hear a pin drop.
I mean, that's a lot of confusion for a young girl.
It's very important to me, you know, because I'm looking to get married soon.
And then here you are having children with a certain physical trait and a doctor talking to you. Look, I know what being pregnant is like. I have a child.
Yes.
People talking to you about your child's medical history. People talking to you about
things. I don't know where it come from.
Finally, the emotional buildup boils over. Mr. Jackson says he doesn't care what the DNA says. If she's his, great. If not, he'll still be there. From this day forward, she won't want for anything. Mr. Thompson cuts in. She wanted a daddy for 28 years. Judge Lake raises her hand. Enough. Let's get the results. You can feel everyone's heartbeat sync up.
What do you see what do you see when you look at
the
Mr.
height,
Thompson?
That's
the
all
forehead.
I see, the height. That's all I see.
You know, the height, the forehead, you know, the shape.
And isn't that, Miss Galaviz, let's just be really honest.
Cue the drum roll. Jerome steps in with the envelope. Judge Lake opens it slowly. In the case of Galaviz Smith versus Thompson and Jackson, when it comes to 28-year-old Keyshawn Smith, the courtroom holds its breath. It has been determined that her biological father is...
You didn't even know what you're doing because you had a man running up to the hospital trying to claim the child, but you're just pushing him away. I get that. That's what young kids do that don't know.
Yes, Your Honor.
So at this point, what is everyone's hope today?
I want her to be mine.
Mr. Jackson hangs his head but keeps his composure. Judge Lake commends him for his honor and willingness to step up. That was love, not ego, she says, and you can tell she means it. Mr. Thompson hugs his daughter tight, crying, now I got my baby back. Ms. Smith's smile through tears says it all. After 28 years, she finally knows where she belongs.
In the case of Galaviz Smith versus Thompson Jackson, when it comes to 28-year-old Keyshawn Smith, it has been determined that her biological father is Mr. Thompson.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus.
Judge Lake leaves them with warmth and wisdom. Mr. Jackson, you're still part of this family. Love her too. Every child deserves a village. The episode closes on Ms. Smith's teary smile as she says softly, now I know who my father is. No outro, no music, just pure relief after nearly 3 decades of wondering.
Sean, thank you.
Apologize, Ronald.
I know. Oh, I'm so sorry, baby. I wasn't there.
Jackson, you're okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Long time. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mr. Jackson, I can feel your sorrow from here.
Amanda walks into paternity court with the kind of secret that could ruin 3 family reunions at once. For 30 years, she believed David Curry was her father until a DNA test said otherwise. Now she's questioning if her uncle Kenneth Curry might actually be her dad. The stakes? Her identity, her son's history, and an entire family's truth on blast. Let's roll the chaos.
Ms. Morrow, you say you've been living a lie for 30 years. You stand before the court today, ready to finally find out whether your biological father is the man you grew up believing to be your dad, or if his brother, the defendant, Mr. Curry, is your father.
Right away, Amanda explains she barely knew David growing up, an elevator high at 7, a quick lunch at 16, and a lifetime of emotional distance. You can see how guarded she is. This isn't drama for fun. This is a woman who never had a real dad. I mean, just look at her face. She's holding it together, but that pain is loud.
Well, recently, the man that I thought was my biological father did a DNA test himself after 30 years, and it came back that he wasn't my father. So basically for 30 years, I lived this lie thinking that he was my father, which I never met him until...
Judge Lauren presses, and Amanda reveals her mother always said David walked away before she was born. So Amanda grows up fatherless on paper, but attached to his name in her heart. Things got rocky quickly when that shaky story meets adulthood, questions, and unanswered calls. This is decades of confusion sitting at that podium drama overload, but in the saddest way.
There, I want to feel the makeup for not being there, and it all just started from there. And it was very hard for me to let him in, so I was very hesitant about having him in my life. After a year of just talking on the phone, my mom went to Connecticut for me to meet him. My grandfather was dying, so I met him around that time that my grandfather was dying.
Then we get the at-home DNA test saga. And honestly, this kit has seen more mileage than some relationships. David leaves his sample in the car, then the fridge, then mails it late. Then it gets returned for not enough postage, sir. This is your possible child, not a coupon. No wonder everyone is side-eyeing those results like, yeah, that's contaminated energy.
You understood him to be your father, that the person you thought.
My brother always believed that he was her father, until just recently, when he got this DNA test done. That's when I found out that apparently he wasn't either. But there's a question as to the validity of the test that he took.
When Amanda tells her mom, if he's not my father, I need the truth before I show up, her mother finally drops a bomb. She claims Amanda is the product of a gang rape by 3 men. The entire courtroom freezes. Even Kenneth is like, I don't believe that, and admits he slept with Amanda's mother himself. Talk about messy. This just went from confusion to catastrophe.
And then he mailed me my part of the kit. So that's when this all started. When he mailed me that part for me, he mailed me two samples. One for my mother, one for me. So I called my mother. I said, Mom, we were supposed to be going down to visit her in a week or so. I said, listen, Dave bought a DNA test because he always had questionable doubts. He said he's my father, but he just wanted proof. Well, I have a DNA kit here.
Amanda is furious, and rightfully so. Why tell her entire life that David is her father? Let her meet his family, go to funerals, spend holidays, wear the title David's daughter, only to switch the story at the last possible second. You can feel that betrayal. She mailed in her DNA, hoping for confirmation. Instead, she got an email saying David is not her father. Heartbreaking stuff.
You slept with Ms. Morrow's mother.
Correct. Then I introduced her at a party to my brother, when she started sleeping with him.
Like, why not say, I don't know who your father is? Why say this David Curry is my father? From the time 15, you let me meet him, go to his mother's funeral, meet his family, spend Thanksgiving with his family. She would never have told me the truth until this David finally decided he wanted to do a DNA test.
For 24 hours after those results, Amanda says she was wrecked, crying, devastated, terrified that her son would grow up with the same blank space she had. And then, just as she's drowning, David's niece calls and says, Uncle Ken knows some things. Oh, now suddenly Uncle Ken has lore? The tension lifts, then spikes again. You could cut this tension with a knife.
I'm close with their niece, his niece, David's niece, their other brother's daughter.
Yes,
I'm
I
close.
didn't meet Amanda until she was 15. 16 at Thanksgiving at my house.
It's not that I wanted him to be my father, but I wanted to know who my father was. June 6th, I got the email. The DNA results were in. I click on the link and it says that he's not my father.
Kenneth reaches out and admits he slept with Amanda's mother around the same time. Plus, there was another man in the mix. At this point, Amanda's entire conception story is starting to look like a dysfunctional group project. She's trying to untangle 30-year-old lies while everyone else is like, yeah, something happened, not sure what. Cue the drum roll, because this web is wild.
I was a wreck. I was very emotional, upsetting. I'm like, wow, I have a child that I can never say, well, you have a grandfather. My husband lost his father when he was was very young, so my son has a grandfather. And it's not that, it's just, I need to know these things for the sake of my son.
To clean up the chaos, Judge Lauren brings in Dr. Baird. He calmly confirms what we were all thinking. David's first test sample was a hot mess and should have been recollected, so Paternity Court has David retested properly. At the same time, we pivot to the big question: could Uncle Ken actually be Amanda's dad? I mean, just look at his reaction when the possibility is said out loud.
His niece, who I'm close with, said, hey, Uncle Ken knows something. And that's when Ken reached out to me and told me that he slept with my mother, another man slept with my mother, another man slept with my mother.
And another man.
Amanda confronts Kenneth. If you knew you slept with my mother, why didn't you say anything when you met me at 15? Kenneth basically says, you don't tell a 15-year-old that. Fair, but also, sir. Then his wife compares Amanda's picture to their daughter's and sees a resemblance, and suddenly everyone is staring at faces, searching for answers. Talk about pressure.
So all of these men,
Correct.
on top of that, you do a DNA test with the man you believe to be your father, and there's an issue with the sample.
Correct.
So it's just confusion all around.
Correct.
So look, we use DNA Diagnostics, a laboratory, to perform all of the DNA testing for Paternity Court. And we wanted to ask Dr. Baird, our lead scientist there.
Then comes the third potential father, David's friend, the same man who once drove David to visit Amanda. She tracks him down, and he admits he always thought she might be his, but doesn't want his current family to know or to be involved. The way Amanda repeats that, you can hear the hurt. Imagine 3 grown men circling your existence, and nobody volunteers the truth.
So, as you can see, that sample was likely compromised because it was not sent in a timely manner.
Right.
So we did have the man you believe to be your father tested again under the right conditions, and we'll have that result later, okay? So let's now understand how you came to realize or came to know.
As if that's not enough, Amanda uncovers a signed acknowledgement of paternity from David back when she was a baby. But he never finished the DNA test, so he stayed off the birth certificate. She's embarrassed, hurt, and grieving every milestone she went without a father. Watching her break down here, yeah, can someone pass the tissues, please? This is trauma stacked on paperwork.
My mother, I read a message David sent to me that my mother sent to David stating, I hope you do the DNA test so I can spit in your face for doubting that she's your daughter. And then I also read that he signed a paternity agreement.
Judge Lauren asks what she wants. Amanda doesn't want a dad at 30. She wants answers, health history, heritage, something real to pass to her son. Kenneth says if he is her father, he wants a relationship. Bittersweet doesn't even begin to cover it. Then Amanda points out they've lived 15 minutes apart, and she's still treated like a question mark. It's finally time for the truth.
Yeah. So what are you hoping for today? What are you hoping these results?
Just to know, I need closure, know where I came from, who's my father. I'm not looking for somebody to be my dad. I'm 30 years old, I've lived my life, I've grown this long without a father, I'm okay. I just want to know where I came from, health reasons, heritage, so I can tell my son one day what nationality he is, or what health risks are on his side of the family.
The lies, the timelines, the accusations, it's all on the table now. Everyone in the courtroom is on edge as the judge prepares the envelope. Only one piece of evidence can end the shouting and finger-pointing. The DNA results will reveal the truth once and for all. Who's the real father, and who will have the last laugh?
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Morrow v. Curry, as it pertains to the paternity of Ms. Amanda Morrow, it has been determined that Mr. David Curry is not your father.
Then, the second envelope. Everyone's staring at Kenneth like, okay, it's gotta be you. Judge Lauren reads, Mr. Kenneth Curry is not your father. The room just deflates. Kenneth apologizes. Amanda is shattered all over again. She came hoping to gain a father and instead walks out with more unanswered questions. Her face says it all. This isn't a twist, it's a void.
Sorry, sweetheart.
I just don't understand how someone could do this to their child.
How do you lie to your child? Now I'll never know. How do I tell my son this growing up that I don't know who my father is? I just want closure. I want this to end. I just want to know. I want to sleep at night and not have nightmares.
In the final moments, Amanda breaks, asking how a mother lies to her child like this, and how she's supposed to explain to her own son that she still doesn't know where she comes from. Kenneth gently vows to help her keep searching, and Judge Lauren urges her not to give up. No outro, no bow, just a woman still fighting for the truth she always deserved.
The one other guy, Amanda, who I wasn't able to locate, will certainly continue looking for him.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kerr. Thank you for that. Ms. Morrow, do not ever give up. I know this was not the news you wanted today.
I just want to know the truth.
Amanda, we're in a whole different episode now. This time it's Ms. Kane rolling into paternity court with drama so tangled it needs its own flowchart. She says Mr. Wright is the father of baby Ariana, but he says she lies, sneaks, and if this DNA test proves she played him, he's done. No co-parenting, no contact, just thanks for your time. Stakes are high, energy is tense. Let's get into it.
Ms. Kane, now you say you've had an on-again, off-again relationship with Mr. Wright for the past 3 years. In addition to questions regarding your daughter's paternity, you say your relationship has suffered from instability and constant mistrust.
Judge Lake lays out the mess. 3-year on and off relationship, zero trust, constant accusations. Ms. Kane calmly says yes, it's been rocky, while Mr. Wright doubles down that she's lied too much to believe Ariana is his. You can already feel the tension, both of them talking like enemies but sitting side by side. Drama overload, and we're only seconds in.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, now Mr. Wright, you say that Ms. Kane has repeatedly lied to you, and you have every reason to doubt the paternity of 1-year-old Ariana. Now you confess that if the results of today's paternity test prove you are not the biological father, you plan to walk out of this courtroom and have nothing to do.
We rewind to how it all started. Ms. Kane was always hanging with her ex when she met Mr. Wright. Oh, and minor detail, the ex was Mr. Wright's friend. The ex calls Mr. Wright to tow her car, calling her his girlfriend. Mr. Wright shows up to help his boy's girl. Nice, respectful, until 5 minutes after he leaves, she texts him that he's cute and asks if they can take it further. Talk about messy.
Were you still sleeping with your ex at the time?
No.
So you weren't sleeping with your ex, it was really your ex?
Yes.
That's not what he said.
What, Mr. Wright?
I said, that's not what he says.
So, Mr. Wright, you tell me. I want to know why there's so much mistrust.
Yeah, he called me to have me tow her car.
The ex did.
Told me it was his girlfriend.
They start dating, but it's not exactly a fairy tale. Mr. Wright says her ex is still sleeping in her bed. Ms. Kane claims it was innocent. No sex, just he needed somewhere to stay. Judge Lake leans in like, now you know you're in court, Ms. Kane. You can feel the disbelief. Even Mr. Wright is staring like, you expect me to buy that? I mean, just look at his face.
Wait a minute. With the the tow truck man left, and then you just sent a text like, I think you cute, can we move on to something more? What, something more than you towing my car?
Yes.
Okay, and so you started dating?
Yes.
And at some point during this time, you got pregnant?
Yes.
Then comes the infamous girls' night. Ms. Kane tells Mr. Wright she's out with her friend, but his boy at the bar sees her with the ex on a double date. Judge Lake is done. This is not oops miscommunication. This is strategic confusion. Ms. Kane tries to spin it as just helping a friend meet a guy, but with all this overlap, you could cut this tension with a knife.
You don't look like you believe that at all, Mr.
I don't believe that at all. There was an instance. She went out, she lied to me, told me her friend, they were gonna have a girls' night out. Well, my boy was a door guy at the bar. To find out, her ex's friend, and her girl were all on double dates together.
Now we find out Mr. Wright was still living with his ex while dating Ms. Kane. He swears he's on the couch. His ex is in the bedroom. Ms. Kane gets messages from the ex on Facebook insisting they're still together. So now we've got overlapping exes on both sides, both claiming the other is lying. Judge Lake quietly assembles the chaos like, so everybody belongs to everybody?
I mean, this is just a mess. First of all, when you started dating her, did you tell your boy, hey, I'm dating now?
She didn't want him to know that me and her were seeing each other.
Is that because they were friends, or is that because you were still sleeping with the ex?
No, my ex did not believe that him and I hooked up.
Did he not believe it because that was his boy and he didn't think his boy would sleep with you?
Judge Lake finally calls it. Let's just say what this is. You all have a four-way relationship. And she's right. Too many people, too many lies. And somewhere in there, these two claim they're committed. Things get rocky quickly as they argue over who hid what, who slept where, who texted whom. This relationship is less romance, more group project from hell.
So you all have a four-way relationship that includes No. Let's just call it the way it is. You all see each other, but you also have relationships with your exes.
But see, I admit what I've done.
I had a friendship with my ex.
Then Mr. Wright brings the legendary gas leak story. Ms. Kane disappears for hours at her other kid's dad's house, ignores calls, then claims she was blocked in by 6 gas trucks. My guy calls the actual gas company, like he's running a federal investigation. They say there was no gas leak. Judge Lake calls him Inspector Gadget, and honestly, he earned that title.
And when she tells you, are you happy? Do you believe it's yours?
I was
or you
happy, but I still had that, with everything she's doing. I mean, she went over to her baby daddy's house. There's 2 other kids, went over to his house. Was over there for 3 hours when she knew that dinner was almost done. Then ignored my phone calls, my text messages. Then finally she shows up. She finally calls me.
It gets even messier. Mr. Wright says Ms. Kane told him twice that Ariana might not be his. Once while pregnant, once during a fight when he threatened court and custody, and she snapped. You might want to go do that, cause she probably ain't yours anyway. Ms. Kane says it was out of anger, not truth, but Judge Lake's face says, that is a very specific anger sentence.
You went real Inspector Gadget, right?
Yeah, she's trying to tell me.
He solved that case, didn't he, Jerome?
She's trying to tell me there's 6 trucks over here, so I called the gas company.
There was 2 trucks
Gas company was like, we don't have no record of it. So what'd she do? Well, maybe they didn't know. The only way for them to get 6 trucks over there is for it to go through dispatch.
So you find out she's lying about that.
Yeah.
Then Mr. Wright drops the threesome bomb. He claims her friend told him Ms. Kane knew what was going on before she went to a house where another threesome had happened, and clothes started coming off. Ms. Kane denies it all. Judge Lake literally stops and goes, oh my goodness, why are you two even together? And honestly, valid question drama at its finest, folks.
She just validated your assertion. So Ms. Kane, that's true.
Yes,
you told him while you were pregnant that this baby is not his.
Right.
I mean, just a couple months ago, she told me. We got into an argument, and I was like, I'm going down and filing for full custody. I'm going to file for paternity test, and I'm filing for full custody. She was like, you might want to go file because she probably ain't yours anyway.
We pivot to Ariana. Judge Lake reminds them that in the middle of this circus is a little girl. Mr. Wright says he was there at the hospital. He supported Ariana from day one, but he refused to sign the birth certificate because of all his doubts, no father listed. Seeing that birth certificate in court, you can see it stings both of them. Heartbreaking stuff.
My texts or my phone
I mean, she leaves. She puts everybody in front of me, everybody, but she expects us to work.
So, Ms. Kane, while you're pregnant, you tell him this may not be your child. This isn't your child.
Out of anger.
Out of anger.
Yes.
So it was only out of anger because in your mind there's absolutely no other possibility.
Correct.
This other guy, her friend, me, her, and her friend had a threesome.
Ms. Kane claims he's the one who thinks she'll weaponize that blank certificate against him later. He insists that's not what he wants at all. Judge Lake steps in like the only adult in the room. This is exactly why Paternity Court exists, so Ariana doesn't grow up trying to decode grown folks' lies. Can someone make this required viewing for all situationships?
At this point, I just want to know, why are you two even together?
Because I do
He
love
don't
her.
answer my call. She don't answer my call. It's a 2-hour break. She not taking the phone into the bathroom. I mean, this is just, I mean, constant complaint after complaint. Neither one of you trust the other one as far as you can throw them. You really don't. So Ariana is now here in this mess.
When asked if Ariana looks like him, Mr. Wright says yes, but then explains how her family keeps switching up, saying Ariana looks like her sisters one week, then those sisters look just like their dad the next. He's reading between all those lines and not seeing himself. Judge Lake catches it. He's terrified he's being emotionally set up. You can feel that insecurity.
And then she throws that up in my face. If she turns out to be mine, she's gonna keep that short when she's older.
Who said that? He's the one that brought that whole thing up. He's the one that thinks that I'm gonna keep her and throw it up in her her face saying that he was a bad dad, he didn't want nothing to do with her, and all this other stuff. That's the reason why I keep it.
That's
No,
what you
that's
tell
not even.
everybody. Even though I'm the one that supports her.
I never said that.
First of all,
No.
that's why you're here, and that's why this court is here.
Judge Lake unleashes one of her iconic analogies. This relationship is like jambalaya, but it does not taste good. Too many people in the pot, exes in beds, late-night visits, unsolved lies, social media drama. She tells them straight, Ariana is losing in this chaos, and both of them finally shut up and agree. For once, the room is aligned.
Say how much she looks like her other two girls, but then a week later say how much those girls look like their dad. That they don't look nothing like her. So that tells me that she looks like
So you're
the
reading
other
in
father
between
too.
the lines,
Right.
and you're not in the sentence.
Right.
Gotcha. So then your mind,
Right.
with all of your mistrust
With
and all
everything
this
she's
mess
told
you
me about
created,
she's not
now you
mine.
thinking he slept with him, and now this baby could be his too.
Right.
Mr. Wright says if Ariana isn't his, he's out. Done. No more back and forth. But he also admits he loves Ms. Kane. Judge Lake gives Ms. Kane one last chance. Is there anyone else who could be the father? Any secret you're ashamed to say? Ms. Kane swears no. No other man. No breaks. Nothing. The judge presses the timeline. They've been together 3.5 years, so this is it.
I mean, I understand why he could have doubt. Do you?
Yes, I do understand.
I don't know if you all are calling this a committed relationship. I'm calling it a chaotic relationship. And the problem is neither one of you trusts the other one. You got a beautiful little girl that's losing because she's living in all this chaos.
Cue the drum roll. Jerome brings the envelope like it's sacred. The courtroom goes silent. The lies, the timelines, the accusations, it's all on the table now. Everyone in the courtroom is on edge as the judge prepares the envelope. Only one piece of evidence can end the shouting and finger-pointing. The DNA results will reveal the truth once and for all. Who's the real father and who will have the last laugh?
So these stakes
her,
are
but I'm
high
done.
for this little girl who I'm sure at 2 years old regards you as her father. Now, Ms. Kane, before I get to these results, I have to ask you, is there anything you want to say? Have you slept with somebody and you just felt ashamed, you didn't want to bring it up? This is the time. Just lay it on the line, get it out there, and let it be. Nobody.
No, ma'am. There's nothing. I've never slept with anybody else besides Mr. Wright.
You have never.
Not for the past 3 years.
Mr. Wright breaks. Tears, relief. Everything he's been holding in finally spills out. Ms. Kane is crying too, finally sure. This isn't petty drama anymore. This is a dad realizing he really belongs to his baby, and a mom realizing she didn't lose him. I mean, just look at that reaction, all that chaos, and this is the first genuine moment.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics and they read as follows. In the case of Kane v. Wright, pertaining to 1-year-old Ariana Wright, it has been determined, Mr. Wright, you are Ariana's father.
Judge Lake points out how the truth knocked their walls down. She tells them if they're gonna stay together, they need reciprocity. Give what they expect. Put each other first. Focus on that beautiful little girl. They nod through tears, talking about trusting more, fighting less. No outro, no big bow. Just a messy couple, a confirmed father, and a tiny girl who finally has her truth.
I see the tears and I'm glad you're relieved. You know now. How do you feel, Ms. Kane, relieved? Now see, finally, in this moment, the truth has been a catalyst for you to just taking your walls down for a moment. This is the most authentic I've seen both of you be since we've been in this courtroom.